This is what it is to me. The God, the goddess, it manifests in so many different ways. It could be a bird flying over my head, heading in a certain direction, giving me a sign that that's the direction that I'm supposed to go. Or it could be the old woman that walks into my store, and because I'm running a covenant that's based on Solomonic ways, ways of Solomon in the oldest days, bestows upon me a stack of the Old Testament, which is, a couple of thousand times larger than what the Holy Bible is that is handed to us today. I mean, that woman is the goddess at that point. Or is manifesting itself into this woman at this point. The God may be the cop that stops you while you ran a red light. And if he hadn't stopped you, you might have been that car wreck that's just up the road a couple of blocks. If it's not your time. I feel that there is destiny, and I think that your energy is pinned to it. But I feel that we make our destiny. And that's another topic altogether, but while we're here, let's just say it. I feel that we make our destiny. I feel that our destiny is driven by the way that we're currently going. But the God and the goddess, the energy of it, it's all tied into that destiny. Because that road that we're driving down, that's part of the God and goddess. That blade of grass that I just stepped on and perhaps broke is part of the God and goddess. That paper bag that I threw down is going to deteriorate eventually, but for a while it's going to kill the grass right there where it lays that was grown to be part of the God and goddess. And the bag itself too was made by men, but it was originally part of the God and goddess. You'll have to forgive me, my acid reflux is kicking my booty right about now. But everything that we create in today's society is part of the God and goddess, or is ran by it. The electricity in this camera, or in the TV, or, whatever. It's all that energy, and that energy is so immense, and there's so many different types. It can separate itself in certain places, but it all combines in other places. It can be in a little entity or in a large entity. That energy is in a blade of grass, or a grain of sand, or a bird flying by, or the sun shining bright. That is God. That is goddess. And no one could ever deny that. No one. There are so many theories there, and religion is actually based on theory. Every path is actually based on theory. Everything that you see in writing is based on legend. And it's okay, and it's alright to believe in that. Because somewhere, some way, this world has gone on for so long, for such a lengthy amount of time, that these people, in one way, form or fashion, existed. Okay? Now, the more updated people that can be documented are documented, and we know that they exist. But what about those that are way back there that transpired before documentation? Nobody knows. All we do know entirely is that energy is, has, and always was existing, and always will exist. in one way, form, or fashion. And it takes on many shapes, faces, colors, you know. I love the God and Goddess. And to me, it comes by Diana, Cernunnos, Isis, Osiris, Green Man, Green Lady, Adonai, and Manu, mainly for my deities. But it's also Freya, Aphrodite, Aries, it's, Balthazar, it's, let's see, it is Gaia, it is Ren, it is whoever you want it to be. Those deities are the presentation of our feelings. They are a relay of what one person envisioned this energy that we have to be. And it reflects in everything, including the season. It reflects in everything, the stories that we tell, the legends that we have. You know, whether the stories came before or the stories came after really is irrelevant then. We have this now, whatever it is. Our ancestors that have come before us and have passed away, that watch over us. They're either reborn and we can't get in touch with them because they're inside of another living being already. Because they still have more to learn. Or they have moved and surpassed this world because their knowledge was just far too vast. And they've moved on to become part of that God and Goddess system. And as part of that appearance that we know of, or that feeling that we know of, or that which is born or sprang from the earth. That to me is the God system. And that's the best way that I could ever explain that to you. You know, some may disagree with me. I may get a lot of dislikes on the channel. You know, but I wouldn't be getting anywhere and telling you anything if I didn't believe it myself, and if I weren't true with my ideas on what things are. I couldn't very well teach you the truth, could I? You know. See, I've noticed lately there's been waves of trolls coming onto the channel and, hitting the dislike button because they're Christian and they disagree with what I'm doing altogether. And they want to preach to me. I get a lot of this, and I hit that me nor any of my viewers are ever going to see you on this channel again. Hide this viewer from the channel button. And it works for me. You know, there's also the trolls that, and there are plenty of pagan trolls. So do not get me wrong. I am not just picking on the Christians here. I'm not picking on the Christians at all, except for the ones that do troll people. But there are many, many pagans out there. And the worst pagan, and I'm pagan by the way, I'm definitely holy pagan. But the worst pagan that I can never stand is that pagan that is so overly prideful that their way is the only way. And they have no need of ever listening to anyone else or learning another thing or just giving some validity to the whole of a religion. Because, as is my most prized motto, and believe me, sisters and brothers, in all the religions that you are, my motto is that there is no religion that's entirely right, nor one entirely wrong. For there is validity in all that you see and hear because it is heard and it has been seen from all other places before it. and on down the line. And yes, at one time there was a start. There were times when these things didn't exist, but those things are so long ago that it wouldn't even matter now. It just wouldn't. Things are as they are. And what is more important than the past? It's the present and the future. Now, I've recently done a video, which I got a dislike on for whatever reason, to do with being kind to the earth. And it's on there. I don't even remember what the name is, but it wasn't too many videos back. And I got a dislike on this video to do with, people mistreating the earth. Well, we do. I still stand by that. And if you want to dislike my video, then more power to you, sister and brother. I'm just trying to help the earth alone. I'm just trying to help the God and Goddess keep it floating, and the other ones that are banding together with me, feeling the same way, trying to do the same thing. But, without everything working together, and in science, we call it the ecosystem. With that being so badly damaged as it is, then our numbers are going to dwindle. I mean, life on Earth is going to cease to exist one day, and it's going to be man's fault. Because one of my strongest points within that video that I made was that men were nature's worst enemy. And I still stand by that. But what about our children? That was my second biggest point in that video. What about our children that inherit the earth, or our grandchildren that inherit the earth after we're done? They've got to clean this mess up. But what are we doing with it now? Anyway, this isn't meant to be a rant about the earth and us being bad to it. But let's face it, the earth is God and Goddess. The earth is Artemis, Aphrodite, Zeus, Hera. I mean, the Kali and Caradwin and Hecate. I mean, the earth is these deities. And let's not forget all the male deities, Ares, Zeus, Cronunnos, and the darker ones, Balthazar, Satan, Lucifer. I mean, there are many different religions, and I don't down anybody. I believe they all started somewhere. I don't live in all of them. I don't believe everything that I hear. I don't abide everything I hear from whatever religions, But I do respect all religions, because those religions are tied to people. And we're shoulder to shoulder with people today. That's God and Goddess for us. That's where this world has landed us. That's where population has landed us. And God and Goddess is in everything and in everyone. And we could disrespect God or Goddess in our own face as they are speaking to us, and us not thinking about the fact that this individual might be giving a message. They may just be giving us a message that doesn't matter to us right now, or even maybe an hour from now. But what about it perhaps existing as an importance 3 days from now, a week from now? This is the God and Goddess. And I believe that this has been a pretty powerful message. There are people that believe in the God and Goddess as physical entities, or entities that have lived at one time. And to me, those exist also, but I call them demigods. Okay. And we don't talk a lot about demigods. I'm pretty sure we should.